Avengers Endgame. Okay, this is the non-spoiler review. I will do a spoiler-filled review later, probably after the weekend. But right now, non-spoilers. I will not talk about anything other than what we briefly have seen from the trailers of Endgame. And also, I will be spoiling Infinity War. So if you have not seen Infinity War, go check that out first, then go watch Endgame. I would really recommend watching the entire MCU before you watch Endgame to really appreciate it. If not, there's at least going to be a list of a few movies that you have to watch, Infinity War being one of them, to really appreciate Endgame. Alright. Avengers Endgame is the exact kind of movie that I wanted. This is a comic book movie that is also not really a comic book movie, because the beginning of this, Act 1 of this movie, is seeing how the heroes react to Thanos snapping and destroying, wiping out half the creatures from the universe. They're completely gone. Just half of humanity is gone. Half the superheroes are gone. Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Black Panther, they're all gone. And we're kind of really left with more so the original first few Avengers. And we see them beaten. We see that they've lost. All hope is gone. Like, the first act is just, it's almost hard to watch in a sense, because you're just seeing these characters dealing with their loss of not only, the people from their lives that are now gone, but they're the reason, kind of, they blame themselves that they could not stop Thanos, and that bothers them. That completely changes some of those characters. I loved that. That's not something that you really see in comic book movies. I would say that first act is really the most dark I've ever seen in a comic book movie, other than maybe Logan. Like, that was the most I've ever seen. And from this, you get so many interesting and well thought of character progressions. Nebula was excellent. I always thought that Nebula had a really interesting arc as soon as we were done with her in Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Like, it was like, okay, she's an interesting character. And then in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, everything completely changed for me. Then Infinity War happened, and now Endgame. And Endgame just cemented that. She's one of the most interesting characters in the MCU. Iron Man, obviously. Captain America. Ant-Man. Ant-Man was hilarious. I loved Ant-Man in this movie. He was so good. He was perfect for his comic relief. Paul Rudd is just excellent at that character. Love, love, love Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. So, the first act is them just, dealing with their loss. And then you get to Act 2. And now they're having fun. Act 2 is, if you're a fan of the MCU and you've watched all of them, you're going to enjoy Act 2 so much. I had such a blast with Act 2. And then you get to and then there's still going to be challenges. There's still going to be, struggles that they have to deal with. It's not just a ton of fun. It's not like just, this is like an Ant-Man or Guardians of the Galaxy movie where they're just making jokes all the time. The jokes that they had in this movie were really well timed, I thought. Like, I never felt that it took away from, took away from the darkness of this movie. Another thing, too, Black Widow and Hawkeye, excellent in this film as well. They really took the front seat in this, and I'm happy that they finally got that front seat, because they were awesome. War Machine actually had a few good lines in this movie too. And Rocket, I absolutely love Rocket. There's a specific scene with Rocket that I will get to eventually in the spoiler-filled review. I'll get to that eventually, and I really want to talk about it. But yeah, everybody that was in this film did a great job. Now, in terms of Act 3, that is, even more so than Act 2, is for fans of the MCU, but also fans of comics in general, the Marvel comics. It's for you. And it was so rewarding to watch that with a packed theater, with everybody freaking out during these scenes. And Act 3 starts, and I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. Like, it is just jam-packed with this crazy epic battle where you have no idea what's going to happen. Like, it starts off, and I was just like, what's going on? There is so many moments that I caught myself with my mouth just open, and I'm like, I couldn't believe what was going on sometimes. It's insane. I will say that this isn't as much about Thanos as Infinity War was. He's not as much in this movie, so if you're really looking forward to Thanos, he's not in it as much. Another thing, Captain Marvel is in Endgame, but she's really only in it for like a little bit. She's not one of the main characters. And I will say that I also enjoyed her more in this one. Brie Larson did a better job as Captain Marvel in this one than she did in her solo film, Captain Marvel. I also will say that there was one scene specifically where she was badass. Like, I really enjoyed having her there. I also really like the fact that she's insanely overpowered. But it's kind of fun to have that kind of a character that can, go around in space. And I hope that after this, we start getting more characters that are kind of like that. Because I think that we could have some really interesting movies where they delve and go into space. And with Fantastic Four now being part of Fox, hopefully, now being part of Disney because Fox bought it, we might get Silver Surfer, things like that. I think that would just be so much fun. Anyway, that's just me kind of fantasizing about things. So yeah, Captain Marvel, not in as much, and I thought she did a better job in this. But yeah, the people that stole this, it's the remaining cast that's left after Infinity War did such a great job. I absolutely loved it. Nebula, like I said, stole the show. Act 3 is incredible. It is incredible. Act 2 is so much fun. Act 1 is what you needed. And I will say that it is a little bit slower in Act 1. And there's a few parts maybe in Act 2 that are a little bit slow too. A little bit. And they're not really slow, but they're building things, right? There's a reason for every scene. Literally every scene, I felt that there was a reason for it. And I felt that the 3 hours flew by so fast. Like, it's a 3-hour film, and I just wanted more. And they packed in so much stuff. I thought that they could have still gone with another half hour to an hour, and we could have had a perfect film right there. Because I did feel that the pacing was a little bit off because they were trying to jam-pack so much into this film. Whereas Infinity War was perfect at the 2 hours and a half, and I thought the pacing was much better in Infinity War. So there is that, but just for my pure enjoyment of this film, I'm going to have to give it a 10 out of 10. This is the first 10 out of 10 movie that I have ever reviewed since I started doing reviews on YouTube like 6 years ago or something like that. I had incredible amounts of fun with this, that it has to get the 10 out of 10. And I cannot wait to talk about the spoiler-filled review coming up soon, which I will have probably at the end of the weekend. And I'm going to go see Endgame again. I saw it on Thursday night, on opening night, and I'm seeing it again tomorrow, Saturday, because I need to see it again. I can't wait. Please, go watch a specific list of movies that they recommend for you to watch to really enjoy Endgame. Watch them all, and go check it out. This movie is amazing. Thank you all for watching. You've been bearded in.
Beardage.